When we set our strategic direction for SRP, we realized that we needed overarching goals that met many of those strategies, and one of those is the Sustainability 2035 goals. They've evolved as we've gone forward, and as time went on, those weren't adequate, and we needed to expand that definition. What we recognized is they were probably not as aggressive as they needed to be, and we wanted to challenge ourselves to do the best we can. We brought in a number of stakeholders from around the community. There were environmentalists, there were municipalities, there were large customers, there were low-income advocates. It was a broad spectrum. And we also brought in members of the board because we wanted them to not only be a part of the discussion, but to listen to the discussion among the stakeholders and hear that perspective.
So the idea was to really roll up our shirt sleeves together with our customers and the communities we serve and understand what they wanted to see SRP do and how we could help them be successful in meeting their sustainability goals.
Over the course of 5 months, we had 5 full-day meetings that our stakeholders came to. We had presentations on some of the issues involved, and we had an open and very free exchange of discussion and ideas and information among all of the 60 participants that participated.
The result of that process were some goals that are ambitious but obtainable and reflect a thoughtful consensus of a wide variety of stakeholders. We did our best to try to balance those many and diverse perspectives and come up with some goals that satisfied as many of our sustainability desires and the desires of our customers and stakeholders as we could.
As part of that framework, we adopted goals that drove our sustainability efforts across all of SRP's operations. I can give you 4 examples in the 4 areas of carbon emission reductions goal, the forest restoration goal, the water conservation goal, and the electrification goal.
One of the most significant goals that SRP has is our carbon reduction goal. When we started, it was a 33% reduction. The stakeholders really spent a lot of time with us on that goal and asked us to think differently about it to see if we could do more.
SRP is committed to a 2-part goal. So essentially, they have agreed by 2035 to reduce the carbon emissions from their power generation fleet by 62%, and then by 2050 to reduce it by 90%. And just to put that in a little bit of perspective for you, the target for 2035 is equivalent to removing the emissions of 1.5 million cars from the road for 15 years.
One of the sustainability goals that we set was for forest restoration, and that's because we need a healthy watershed. We can't deliver clean, healthy water without having the healthy watershed from which that comes.
Well, forest restoration really is about thinning out our ponderosa forests to reduce the risk of catastrophic fires. The goal would be to thin about 50,000 acres a year.
You can't talk about sustainability without talking about water conservation. We are partners with the cities in delivery of water to most of our communities, as well as agricultural water throughout the valley. We want to encourage water conservation. We want to take a leadership role in working with those cities and helping them meet their goals when it comes to conservation.
SRP has made a commitment to, by 2035, save 5 billion gallons of water in partnership with the municipalities.
Having SRP work with cities and work with industry of all levels, from great big companies to little companies, figure out ways to reduce their water consumption will be really key.
Our electrification goal is aimed at reducing carbon emissions from vehicles, and we're going to do that in a number of ways.
SRP's electrification goal is to support the enablement of 500,000 electric vehicles in SRP's service territory by the year 2035, and also to support 90% managed charging. By having a goal for electrification, SRP is recognizing the huge air quality, public health, and economic benefits that ratepayers in SRP territory will reap.
Here in the Phoenix area, we have a huge problem with ozone. A lot of the pollutants that contribute to ozone formation come from vehicles. So having more electric vehicles that don't contribute to ozone is really important as well.
I couldn't be more proud of the end result of the sustainability goals because I think it represents not just what management wanted, but what the community wanted and what the board wanted. So I think they're an aggressive set of goals, they're an achievable set of goals though, and it really has been something we can rally employees around.
What we saw in that process was the faces of people who really do care about the long-term sustainability of our energy and our water.
It was very clear from the beginning here that while we knew that the Salt River Project staff had the expertise, they were very open and willing to listen to ideas and input from a host of different stakeholders. And it really turned into a very collaborative process.
I think for SRP, this 2035 plan really puts them at the forefront of becoming a sustainable utility. SRP has set goals that are aggressive and meaningful.
I have to say, really to SRP's credit, that this was bar none the best utility stakeholder process that I have had the opportunity to be involved in.
In the end, SRP's board actually stepped up to something more than was recommended. They took it serious, and they decided they wanted to do more. Quite impressive, really.
I have 9 grandchildren now, and I think about their future in a lot of different ways. And I want them to have a world that is cleaner and more healthy, and that drives me to give more serious attention to sustainability.
The SRP 2035 sustainability goals really will take SRP into a more sustainable future and help communities in the SRP territory do that as well by reducing carbon emissions, by reducing water use, reducing waste.
SRP was the first utility in the country to have such a comprehensive set of sustainability goals. I'm very proud of that. I just really want to thank the SRP board, the board observers, the stakeholders who really actively participated for almost 5 months, and of course the SRP staff for all of the hard work they put into this project. I think we are definitely better together, and I'm very proud of what we accomplished.